if you go to the hospital, because you have to be on a respirator or whatever, do you pay for the medical bills or not?
Things about Roblox. If you don't know much about Roblox, today it is the most popular video game.
Yeah, so you have to pay for your bills then. Not insurance? Yeah, but guys, listen. Insurance is not, just forget it.
In the US and Europe, played by 200 million, mostly young people every month. Roblox is more of a creative platform than a game, though.
Guys,
it's a
don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Downloadable portal to a staggering quantity of multiplayer games of all different genres that are all just a little bit floaty and janky. That's because anybody can download Roblox and use its free tools and free hosting to start making and monetizing games. And an astonishing number of people have done just that.
Yeah, this is
Where today
crazy.
Steam hosts almost 55,000 games, Roblox hosts more than 20 million experiences. Which is what Roblox calls games because, legally speaking, it can't admit to selling games within Apple's App Store, as that would make it a game shop within a game shop. So,
wait a minute.
3 things I learned that made me do the internet equivalent of a double take. 1, all of Roblox's developers do earn a cut of the revenue of everything they create, but that cut is shockingly small. To put it in perspective, Steam catches heat from game developers for taking 30% of every sale, while Epic and Microsoft's PC store take just 12%. Roblox
the difference though is that Microsoft Store, they don't have any clients. Nobody buys the game. So if these guys sell millions of games, Microsoft Store sells dozens. Maybe sometimes, if it's a good quarter, they sell 6 or 7 of them.
Games that developers receive around 24.5% of
Wow! What the fuck?
Although, as we'll soon see, in reality, they get even less. The second thing I saw? When Roblox went public on the stock market this year, it was valued at a staggering $41 billion. A value somewhere between Nintendo and Electronic Arts.
I'd be more.
Roblox is now worth 7 Ubisofts. And 3, in the words of Roblox's own Vice President of Marketing, Tammy Barmek, from the very beginning, it was about having kids develop games for other kids. These kids are not just hobbyists. They're doing real work that is driving the value of one of the biggest video game publishers in history.
That is crazy, though.
That's just 1/3 of the industry standard, and nobody looking out for their health. We had to ask, is the next generation of video game developers being exploited before they've even finished secondary school?
Well, who cares?
But before we look at how Roblox treats its work...
I mean, they sign the terms, and they accept the terms, and then they make the thing, and they at least sign the contracts or whatever, right?
Because first we have to look at how Roblox turns its young users into workers in the first place. So, the good thing about Roblox, as I've said, is that the tools are free, the hosting's free. The tools actually let you skip with the traditional learning curve associated with 3D modeling, and Roblox even handles moderation of your players for you. But people just using these free tools to get creative doesn't
I'm just
money. In fact, it loses the money because servers are expensive.
They are kids.
Is why the moment.
Yeah, exactly. So what?
Roblox's core player base of 9 to 15-year-olds start playing. They are submerged in this idea that they could be an entrepreneur. After all, it's impossible to play Roblox without making other Roblox users richer because you're buying passes for their experiences. You're buying their cosmetics. But we're just getting started. The tabs at the top of Roblox.com are basically find games, find cosmetics, and start making stuff yourself. But if kids click on that, they see make anything, reach millions of players, and earn serious cash. Creators like you, it says, are being paid for what they love to do. If you go to Roblox's YouTube channel, the first videos you see are about successful game developers. In general, Roblox's PR department loves shining a light on the game's younger success stories. The official Roblox tutorials and the game's support website both assume you want help.
I mean, they're not lying.
And if you go to education.roblox.com, which contains lesson plans for educators, one of the lessons is how to earn money in Roblox. Or, in the words of one 11-year-old I interviewed,
I saw other big games, I saw other developers getting money in a way that looked easy.
So, are any of these kids really earning serious cash? Well, where the average indie game on Steam makes several $1,000s, the vast majority of experiences on Roblox earn their creators $0. Now, to understand why that is, we need to take a closer look at the Roblox marketplace, because
the Steam games need to have a certain level of quality. They need to be green lighted, reviewed manually. They need to go through a thorough process. They do a bunch of shit. But this is free for all.
It took me weeks to get my head around this. I'll let you decide for yourself what chance you think kids have of understanding it. So,
but even then, it's still a little bit.
It's easy. It's when you want other people to play it to reach those millions of players that Roblox promised that your journey will start heading uphill. If you want to figure out what to play on Roblox, it only shows you the 1,000 or so games out of its 20 million that have the most players right now. There are no discoverability tools that let you see the newest games or to help new designers. The up and coming section still shows you games with thousands of players. So if you're a kid trying to make games for Roblox, you have two choices at this
Promote your game properly?
You can hustle and try and get your game in front of streamers or YouTubers, or you can pay Roblox to advertise it.
Okay,
But
fair
to
enough.
buy anything in Roblox, you first have to convert your real money to the company's virtual
And Robux.
Robux. Developers on Roblox
Guys,
bid
guys,
with Robux
This is a bad take, but I don't see a problem with any of this
ad
so
slots
far.
in an auction. A system that is discussed by developers in forum threads.
You don't like it? Don't do it. You don't agree with it? Don't be part of it. That's kind of how it
It's
is.
a gamble, with developers hoping that with the right game and the right ad, they'll grab enough players that their game ends up.
Nobody's
surfacing in
twiddling
the
their arm to do
churning
it.
Froth of the Roblox market.
Is anybody being coerced or had at gunpoint to do it?
Make anything, reach millions of players, earn serious cash, and then the next thing it says is, oh, well, I mean, if you actually want people to play your
There are
game,
kids that don't understand it, and you would think they would understand more if they made more money. Do you think they would be smarter if the numbers were different? Not really. It's
yes,
what
you
are you on
can
about?
give us money. But as duplicitous as it sounds, we know this works. Because
Well, what kind of
Roblox
argument is
has
that?
20 million experiences made by its mostly young audience, even though when I spoke to professional Roblox developers, they told me
Imagine
that
if child labor. Dude, nobody's forcing them to make the games. If you want to make the game and put in it, they could ask for $0. They could give it zero. They could give it 1%. Still,
should
what's
not
the problem?
expect to make money on the platform.
Yeah, I
don't
don't
like
think
it?
it's
Don't do it.
really possible for young developers to succeed on the platform anymore. It's really hard to get into those top 200 games.
Sometimes I think of making Roblox games as trying to make a viral TikTok or a viral meme. It's really tricky. There's pretty much only one big market to shoot for on Roblox right now, and that's kids. If you don't hit that demographic just right, and if you don't get your gameplay loop just right, you fail.
Later in this video, we're going to get to why it benefits Roblox Corporation to have hundreds of thousands of developers making games for the platform ignorant of the fact that the odds are stacked against them. But first, let's go back to that question of why it's so hard to make money on the Roblox marketplace, because we're not done. Let's imagine you actually made a game that beats the odds and becomes a small hit, and now your game has thousands of players
Okay,
who are
that's cool.
making inexperienced purchases with Robux. Roblox takes a 30% cut of every transaction on their platform, and then you actually get paid the rest in Robux, which of course isn't real money. You can only spend it in Roblox. You want to get paid. You want to withdraw that money as actual cash. Now, here's the bit that I think is super shady. If any Roblox user wants to take Robux back out of their account and put it in their bank account as actual currency, the minimum withdrawal amount is 100,000 Robux, valued at around 1,000 US dollars. If you make $900 worth of Robux selling stuff you've made, your real life paycheck will be $0.
Well, the thing is that, believe it or not, you didn't actually sell anything. You didn't sell anything. Even though people bought things, they actually didn't buy it. They used Robux to acquire it, which they did buy with real money, but technically they didn't buy anything. They only traded Robux for whatever.
And also, you can't withdraw anything unless you're first paying
You can get mad at me for saying this, but that is the obvious.
for a Roblox monthly premium.
That is the obvious.
Let me make this part abundantly clear. This is a choice that Roblox Corporation has made.
It's lawyer speak, but technically, you didn't sell $900 worth of material. You sold 90,000 Robux worth of. That's just how it is.
Pure Universe, the world's only cash-based MMO that we did a video on last year, has a minimum withdrawal amount of $100. In Second Life, it's just $10. In making the minimum withdrawal amount so high, Roblox is just increasing the chances that you won't hit that cap, and so we'll just plow the money back into Roblox. Whether that's buying games or cosmetics or saving up to advertise your next game. Lots of Roblox developers even use their Robux to pay other Roblox developers to work on their game. And if they're not smart about how they pay these developers, Roblox will take a cut of that paycheck too. But for now, let's just imagine that you make a game and it's a hit, and you do make it to 100,000 Robux, so you're allowed to withdraw it, finally, to your real-life bank account. You see, Roblox buys Robux from users at a very different rate that it sells them. So withdrawing 100,000 Robux doesn't get you $1,000.
Oh, why not?
It gets you $350. Think about it. If your assets in Roblox become substantially devalued, only at the moment you take them...
Okay. This is the first point in this entire video where I don't agree with it. Because they double converse at their benefit.
Out of the platform,
that's weird.
Why not keep them on the platform in case you need them one day? And so, tons of Robux don't ever make it off the platform.
They double convert.
Round and round with Roblox taking cuts.
That is weird.
Cut. And so, while on paper, Roblox developers get that 24.5% of a game's sales, in reality, it's even lower. If we look at Roblox's published records, we can read that for every $1 Roblox earns in bookings, only 17 cents make it back out of the ecosystem to developers. Or at least that's our best guess as to what developers are getting. The platform is actually so opaque that even full-time professional devs who've been doing this for years do not know what fraction of the pie they're taking home.
Like, you just have to roughly estimate it based off of like those exchange rates, and that's all you get.
And by the way, the lack of regulation in today's tech sector is seeing a lot of historically illegal practices coming back again with a new lick of paint. Roblox paying people in Robux is...
Chat, I want to make you guys understand I'm not evil. It's just that they're coming into their ecosystem and complaining about the ecosystem that's over there. There are a lot of very healthy ecosystems in a lot of other markets, in a lot of Steam, Microsoft Store. There's a bunch of other places, but they go in the ecosystem and say, "Wow, this is trash." And like, okay, well, our shit is trash, but you guys all came in here, man, and we're all just chilling here. And I mean, this,
very
that's kind of how it goes, though.
Mining and logging camps in the United States paying people in company script. Script was currency invented and manufactured by these companies that could only be used to buy things within the company's
They're
camp.
kids.
For example,
you sound like the guy who justifies the golden buzzer on talent shows because it's a kid. Dude, you can't say he's dancing poorly. It's just a kid, lol. Dude, he sings very good. You cannot say he sings bad because it's just a kid. Shut up, bitch. Shut the fuck up, man.
That they would build. The mining camps like paying people in script for the same reasons that Roblox does. One, it means workers spend their money at the company, which makes the company richer. Two, workers become more afraid of
financial literacy is needed in the home.
Take away their ability to spend.
I kind of agree, but sometimes
confiscating their paycheck. And three, script makes it harder for workers to quit their jobs because the moment they do, they get poorer. Unbelievably, these camps would have booths where you could exchange your script for US dollars, but the exchange rate hurt the worker, just like Roblox. Script so
kids are getting scammed. Nobody's getting scammed. They say, yo, dude, if you make a game that's dog shit, here's the dog shit pay for our dog shit platform. Oh, okay. Agree. Oh my god, I got scammed. Like, dude, the
make money that it was
the game says
in the United States
we're dog shit. The contract says it's dog shit. The pay is dog shit. And you're gonna complain that it's dog shit?
Money.
It makes no sense.
When the question of whether Roblox is treating its designers fairly comes up, and it does come up, you can find long threads on the official forums with older developers banding together to ask or really beg for a more fair profit share. You always see the same two things. You'll see Roblox posting a super corporate and disinterested response that sort of ends the discussion without having it. But you'll also see people saying that devs asking for more money is silly, because Roblox has never been a profitable company. It loses money every single year, and so there's no more money to give out. That is bollocks. Don't take my word for it. Take the word of the market analysts who have decided that as a money-making machine, Roblox is worth somewhere around the value of 7 Ubisofts. The idea that this company has no more money to give out is a
Okay. Even though that's pretty smart, okay, I could be wrong about this, but I think that what you just said isn't very smart. Because I think when a company is valued as it doesn't really have to do with how much money they're making. Sometimes it has to do with the potential of if it was maximized, monetized wise, right? How much money they can make. Just like when Snapchat was valued at like $9 billion, was the company making that much money? Was the company fucking juicing out? Was the company cashing in? Not really. No. And did they have any means of getting to the 9 billion? It didn't really seem. It seemed like it, right? And what happened to the value over time?
This
dude, because value. Your company being valued doesn't mean you're making a lot of money. You're rolling.
Company has no more money to give out is a repulsive one. Roblox is just doing the same thing as companies like Spotify,
Isn't that how it works?
Uber, and Airbnb, something known as platform capitalism. All of these companies have business models
It's a
based
value.
on
It's evaluated
unsustainable
at
expansion, always moving into more countries, hiring more staff, increasing their expenses until they control the entire market.
This chat thinks that if your company is valued at $9 billion, the guy who owns the company can go to the bank and say, "I want 9 billion. They have 9 billion." That's not how it works.
And all of its data, and can use
They
this
don't
monopoly
have
to
9
make
billion.
incredible money, as we saw with Facebook and Amazon. If Roblox wasn't losing money year after year, its investors could reasonably turn around and say, why not? And so, when Roblox's developers come cap in hand asking for more revenue, there's never any left, even though the platform has 200 million monthly users and the CEO is a billionaire. Because if Roblox were to give more money to developers, that's less money it could spend growing the platform and becoming a monopoly. We reached out to Roblox Corporation for an interview or comment on how they treat their young developers. They did not reply to us. Let's take a moment to put a human face on all of this. Was it harder than you expected to make Robux with your levels?
That is definitely a big yes.
This is Emil. Emil is 11, and he got his parents to send him to a special summer camp where he could learn to code for Roblox, and then he made a game all by himself. And the game flopped, and he ended up sounding like a disenchanted 30-year-old veteran in an 11-year-old's body.
Even though Roblox says to encourage you to actually make games, the likelihood of you making a successful game is basically zero. You always compete with the people that have lots of money, and like, it'd be a problem if I showed you something.
Jesus Christ, this is like real life.
Show me what
Wait a minute.
This is like
real life. This is
a big game developer that has lots of success. Like, the amount of people that they have means the bigger the success is. And that means that they get a giant spike. And even if the spike lowers, they still go back up, and it's just an infinite cycle of spikes that go up and down, up and down. But when you're a small game developer, you'll have that spike, you come all the way down, you stay down.
Were you tempted to spend Robux on advertising your game after you made it?
that is decently accurate, but I don't know.
That I didn't even have Robux, but I wish I did, because then I could advertise it and maybe have a chance.
Emil's disappointment wasn't to do with whether Roblox's revenue split was fair. He hadn't really thought about that concept. He was just upset that Roblox only shows its users games that have tons of fans. But the thing is, Roblox benefits from giving a very small fraction of its developers almost all of the money. Because those successful devs can then keep updating their popular games, or they can make new games, or they can go full-time and hire people to work for them. They can even become celebrities.
I wanted to make this video to really tell you my story and give you my honest thoughts on the 8th annual Bloxy Awards.
And interestingly, the only concession Roblox has made in recent years to do with giving developers more money gives even more money to the developers who were already making money. Experience-based payouts is a new sliver of Roblox's revenue that goes to the games that Roblox subscribers play for the longest.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Also, Roblox Corporation tacitly encouraging its developers to make games that are addictive rather than fun, but the way that Roblox encourages its users to make games that are manipulative
Gambler!
would be a whole other
Gambling!
video. I'm going to stay on topic. Here's games professor
Gambling!
and labor activist Ty Underwood on why Roblox would be trying to empower its most successful developers and ensure the rest have no power at all.
Comparing it to YouTube, you and I know of many YouTube channels where it's like, oh, well, I'm actually a boss with employees now, and so are all the top Roblox games. You can't organize bosses. Their interests do not align with workers. The workers' power comes from having the ability to stop production, and all bosses everywhere, it is against their interests to stop production.
That does track with my experience. I reached out to one extraordinarily successful Roblox developer for this piece, and they did agree to speak to me on the condition that we didn't reveal their identity, saying, quote, despite some
I want to have a bad thing about this.
we have a good working relationship with Roblox, and I wouldn't necessarily want...
Dude, I feel it would help a lot if I know coming from me, you guys are gonna say I'm just if they got I'm not saying it.
to be directly
Just watch the
featured
video.
or quoted in a video critical of their platform cut. I asked that same anonymous developer what message they'd like to get out to Roblox.
It would help a lot if they got a real fucking job. It would help a lot for them to understand how these fucking hierarchies work if they got a real fucking job. Just one. The experience would mean the world. That
They told me, on Roblox, many young devs crunch and burn out. They're not privy to ongoing dev community discussions about health.
I've had real jobs.
My advice would be to not overwork. Don't feel pressure.
They're
to work long
12.
days.
Exactly. Why do you even care about monetization? You're 12. You're doing things because you have fun, because you're creative, because you want to have an outlet. You're doing things because you enjoy them, because you have passion. It's not time for you to establish a long life retirement plan for your extremely successful billionaire game.
Especially
You're just
as a young
chilling.
person. And
Let it
lower
chill.
your expectations. There are millions of experiences on Roblox and only a handful become top games. Make sure to have fun even if only a few people play your game.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this. Look at this guy. Says the delusional Twitch streamer. Dude, I'm only delusional because I get the juice, and I only get the juice because you gift subs. That's the only reason. Because you gift subs, dude.
There's just one problem with getting those messages out to young game developers. Roblox is a publicly traded company now, which means it has a legal obligation to maximize profits. And kids working too hard with unreasonable expectations isn't bad for the company. And this is the heart of Roblox's success. In convincing its young users that making money on the platform is possible, it gets hundreds of thousands of young people pouring their imagination and spirit into making the next big Roblox success story. And while by my estimation, 99.9% of them flame out and make no money at all, that doesn't affect Roblox's bottom line one bit.
Yeah, not even a
Here's
little bit.
Genya again talking about his experience in the
Yep.
Roblox official internship program.
And it never
For
will.
instance, in my class, I was the only person that released a game, and that game was the only game from the whole class that actually did well. And we had like 7,000 people online. And so it's kind of rare for those games to actually work.
But then if some young wonderkind does make the next great thing on Roblox, there is nothing to stop an older team of developers taking the idea, refining it, re-releasing it, and then advertising it.
That is.
But whether young developers find
crazy.
success on Roblox or not, the platform benefits from young developers training themselves up before they've realized that the odds are against them. And once they've done that, they're that much less likely to walk.
You can't take your game anywhere else. If I'm on Steam, theoretically, I could move my game to some, Epic or try to make a deal with Apple or something like that.
Okay, do that.
Once you're in Roblox, it is impossible to extract your game or your work or even your skills from Roblox because it's such a idiosyncratic system to work with.
And this is so infuriating for
No,
me,
it's not.
Because if Roblox was actually operating with care for its young audience...
No, that is disingenuous. They would never be... Okay, in my opinion, they would never be able to replicate what they're doing on another platform, and saying that they could, I think, is a crazy point.
It's such a idiosyncratic system to work with.
And this is so infuriating for me, because if Roblox
How do
was
you know?
actually operating with care for its young audience, it could be a great thing
What
for
do you
the
mean?
games industry. Free
That's
tools
what
to
you
get
said?
kids messing around and making stuff that their friends can come and play, also for free. That's awesome. That anonymous developer who spoke to me told me that they wished Roblox had been around when they were a kid and trying and failing to make games.
So
in
they use the
Flash.
tools that are given to them, and they're mad that they can't yoink the tools and yoink the product of these tools and say, oh, I'm gonna go somewhere else instead.
But that's not what makes Roblox money. What makes Roblox
That
money
makes
is
no
empowering
sense at
kids
all.
to become workers with unreasonable expectations of what they can achieve on this platform in a way that would be illegal if it wasn't happening online. So what can we do about any of this?
The question of whether or not it is like possible to do labor organizing with children productively is like a really bizarre question with much older young people, like young adults, who I'm just like only now introducing the idea that your boss may have interests that diverge from your own in some cases, right? And this is mind-blowing. I think the answer in this case is that it should just simply be regulated that Roblox cannot have people.
Wait, but if you're a worker and you're paid to do a certain work, if you're paid to do certain work, who cares who the fuck cares what your goals are?
Sell within their games, right? If their
the work
audience is largely
or quit.
children. And that's not usually what I reach for, because top-down regulation doesn't build worker power. But like in this case, it's like they're kids. It's what's going on here.
What?
It's a very weird and scary situation.
And what about Emil, 11 years
Guys, if I work in a fucking in a woodworking shop and I say, hey man, I'm doing this really weird structure. I need you to do 20 triangles of wood. Like, yeah, my goals, I'd like to have a squares here and right. Okay, please make 20 triangles. Yeah, but you see, we could have these listen, dumb fuck. Make some triangles, dumb fuck, dude. And they're paid. What am I missing?
What does he think should be done?
Do you think
What am I
that
missing?
kids should be encouraged to try and sell things on Roblox?
I think that kids should be encouraged, but they shouldn't be lied to about how easy it is, because it's not easy.
But the one thing we know for sure is that Roblox is not going to legislate itself in a way that affects its ability
Guys,
to make
I don't know.
money.
There's no way to word it. I think that isn't deceiving. If you make a game that is even simple and it hits the lottery of popularity, you will make quick and insane cash. That is still
Roblox
true
is
though.
going to continue doing
I don't think
everything
there's a way to word it differently.
Young, vulnerable
If you were to make
audience,
a
no matter whether
decent
they
good
get
game,
fair pay, whether it's
and it
good for
goes
their health,
insane
or
mode,
whether they're fully
I
empowered.
mean, if it goes viral,
away.
you hit the
Thank
juice.
you very much for watching this video.
How
everybody.
else would you word that?
If you enjoyed it, please do share it, because, well, the more awareness we raise of this issue, the more pressure we apply to Roblox to be better. But also please share it, because frankly, it took absolutely ages to make. And for that, we have to thank the supporters of the People Make Games Patreon. If you believe in games journalism like this video, we would love to have your support. If you head over to patreon.com/peoplemakegames, you can also see all the cool rewards you can get, like Bad Idea House, a regular feature where Chris and I go through stories we researched but couldn't quite.
I was gonna make a really bad joke about
regular
this.
feature where Chris and I go through stories we researched but couldn't quite turn into videos for one reason or another.
The catharsis of actually
That was a good video,
getting
though.
work into something.
I don't-
Release today's
Guys,
well
guys.
xQcl.
I'm being harsh, okay? Just because of certain principles, but I think they're right though. Across the board, they're all right. They should never get that much amount. The cutoffs should never be this high. It shouldn't be 1,000. The comeback rate from 1,000 should be 1,000. Should be 350. Everything shouldn't be like that. But the fact that it is, and that the people choose to partake in it, and then choose to complain, doesn't make sense. It seems like voluntarily self-scamming and complaining that you're being scammed. It just doesn't make sense.